Welcome everyone to the Countdown to Keele webinar series. We will give attendees a couple of minutes to sign on before we start. Welcome everyone. I'm Kelly Grant, Vice President of Business Development and Admissions for Caron Treatment Centers. We're excited to have you today in the first of 6 webinars focusing on our new state-of-the-art 100,000 square foot medical center in Delray Beach, Florida, the Keele Center. Thanks for joining us today as we count down to Keele. First, some housekeeping items. Today's program will be conducted in webinar format, and what that means is we cannot see or hear you. We do want you to engage with us though, so please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. And if for some reason we cannot get to your question due to time restrictions today, somebody from Caron will follow up with you. Also today, please note that this presentation does not include continuing education credits. And lastly, today's webinar will be recorded and posted on Caron's YouTube page. Today, we proudly welcome my friend, Dr. Phoenix Adams, Executive Vice President of Florida Programming. He oversees all of the Caron Florida Continuum, including Caron Renaissance, Caron Ocean Drive, and now the Keele Center. Dr. Adams oversees all of Caron Florida operations. He began working at Caron in the admissions department in 2012 and has since held several positions, including Clinical and Executive Director of Ocean Drive, Vice President of the Florida Continuum, before assuming the role of Executive Vice President of Florida Programming. In this role, Phoenix combines his heart of a social worker with his years of business experience to influence the strategic direction of Caron Florida Programming and to ensure that excellence in patient care is paramount. In addition to his master's in social work and master's in business administration, Phoenix also received a doctorate of social work. And Phoenix is very passionate about his doctoral research study, which involved examining outcomes for families, family members participating in the treatment of a loved one impacted by substance use disorder. And he's actually presented these research findings internationally, including in London and Toronto. And his research continues to cement his clinical orientation and fuel his passion for family involvement in treatment, which is the cornerstone of treatment at Caron, Florida. Before I turn it over to Phoenix, we'll begin with a short video that showcases the construction of the Keele Center.
Welcome to Caron Treatment Center's new state-of-the-art medical center, Delray Beach, Florida. This construction started back in 2021, and as you can see, we are making tremendous progress. The Keele Center will be a 40-bed, 100,000 square foot building, which will have a residential older adult program and expanded Ocean Drive programming, allowing for 8 additional beds at a residential level of care. It will also have 24/7 medical care that includes an on-site detox staffed by board-certified and credentialed experts. We look forward to expanding Caron's services in Florida.
Y'all, I have been there in person, and it is very hard to describe the magnitude of the Keele Center. And I hope that each of you joining us today will be able to visit us shortly after we open. And now I will hand the program over to Dr. Phoenix Adams. Welcome, Phoenix.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And thank you to everyone joining us today to learn more about Caron's new Keele Center and how this medical center will meet the critical needs in our community for patients and their families. The Keele Center will allow Caron to expand our services and our footprint in Florida. As you know, we currently have Caron Renaissance in Boca Raton and also Caron Ocean Drive in Delray Beach. But with the addition of the Keele Center, we'll be offering detox services and mental health and co-occurring disorder treatment through the expansion of our Ocean Drive program and the addition of our signature older adult program to our Florida continuum. Before I get started and take you on a walk through the Keele Center, I'd love to take a moment just to highlight the leadership of Florida so you're aware of who our leaders are. As you know, and Kelly mentioned, I'm Phoenix Adams, the Executive Vice President of Florida Programming, and I oversee programs within our Florida continuum, including Renaissance, Ocean Drive, our new mental health program, which is launching on August 1st, and all of our new programs that will be housed in the Keele Center. To my right on the slide is Taryn Jaramillo. Taryn is our current Senior Clinical Director at Ocean Drive, and we're very excited that she'll be expanding her role with oversight of all of the new programs at Keele as well. And next to Taryn is Ben Williams, our Executive Director of Florida Operations. Ben has operational oversight of all of our Florida programs. David Almeida is also pictured as he's our Clinical Director of Renaissance. And finally, Dr. Anthony Campo, our board certified psychiatrist and medical director for Florida, will also expand his role as medical director for the Keele Center. So now in this slide, you see a rendering of the Keele Center. And I know this is very consistent with what you saw in the video, and it's very exciting for all of us who've been watching it being built over the past couple of years, and it is so close to what you're seeing in this photo. The Keele Center is designed to meet the needs and demands of our patients. First, our on-site detox and medical services will allow us to treat patients from the beginning of their treatment experience all the way through their completion of care, and whether that involves moving on to Ocean Drive or to older adult programming or to Caron Renaissance. At the Keele Center, as we already do within our Florida continuum, we'll address mental health and co-occurring disorders with our collaborative team of medical professionals and staff psychiatrists. While medication intervention may be indicated, depending on the presenting symptoms, we may encourage patients to utilize alternative holistic methods to address their presenting issues. The delivery of these services is driven by our belief that successful treatment must be done through 4 lenses, including the identified patient and the presenting problem, which is usually a maladaptive pattern of behavior, personality configuration, mental health issues, and the family system. These 4 lenses make up our philosophy of treatment and is the thread that runs through the fabric of our entire clinical staff and direct care service providers. Throughout the delivery of clinical services, the treatment staff incorporates the belief, which our philosophy outlines, the patient is the family and the family is the patient. We believe that this is unique and that it complements a 12-step philosophy while simultaneously demands that treatment providers and participants look beyond their presenting problems and instead dive into driving forces and underlying issues of those presenting problems. Now I'd like to take you inside of the 100,000 square foot state-of-the-art Keele Center and describe the services that will be included floor by floor. The Keele Center will be the front door for all Caron Florida programs, and as such, our admissions team, administrative offices, and leadership team will be located on the first floor of Keele. In addition, our state-of-the-art dining facility and fitness center will also be located on the first floor for use of all Keele Center patients. As part of our health and wellness programs, our holistic services and complementary therapies will also be on the first floor, including acupuncture, therapeutic massage, Reiki and breathworks, meditation and yoga, and we'll also have a barber and hairstylist as well as a nail technician so that our patients may attend to their personal grooming needs while in treatment. Finally, the first floor also contains a suite for neurocognitive services, including neuropsychological assessments and neurofeedback, as well as a research suite to continue to advance our field through research, very much in line with our research conducted at the Tiemann Research Center in Caron, Pennsylvania. On our second floor, our detox services will allow each person to medically stabilize safely in a comfortable setting where they can rest and decompress. Caron's interdisciplinary team of physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners, and other skilled clinicians, including many that possess multiple board certifications, oversee the detox process. They will continuously evaluate each patient's withdrawal symptoms and their physical and emotional health and prescribe withdrawal medications as clinically and medically indicated. The second floor consists of 10 detox beds, 6 private rooms and 2 semi-private rooms, in addition to 7 beds on the other side of the floor that are dedicated to our older adult program. We're very excited to bring our older adult programming to Keele. As many of you know, in 2015, Caron opened our first older adult program at our Pennsylvania location, and we've had tremendous success in treating mature adults with co-occurring medical and mental health issues. We'll carry that same modality and interdisciplinary approach at Keele, providing these patients with a community and demographic of their same age range, mindset, and/or life experiences. This program is designed to manage patients who are physically and cognitively compromised, usually as a direct result of their addiction and co-occurring disorders, such as chronic pain or physical issues commonly seen in the normal aging process. These patients may require a greater level of medical services that will be provided in our older adult program due to presenting with comorbidities such as diabetes, advanced stage substance use disorders, cognitive deficits, and mobility issues, just to name a few. While the age range is typically 55 and older, we have also treated patients as young as 28 who have late-stage substance use disorder with co-occurring ambulatory and medical issues, all the way through individuals aged 90 and above who are ready to reclaim their later years with dignity. Our goal is to teach them coping skills in order to manage retirement, loss of purpose, grief of a loved one, loss of mobility, and also regain their quality of life. The third floor contains 15 private rooms for our older adult program, in addition to the 7 rooms on the second floor, totaling 22 beds for our older adult program. Next, our Ocean Drive program is expanding from our Florida day-night model of care to a full residential treatment experience within the Keele Center. This slide depicts our current clinical offices and residences and highlights the clinical services and environment that Ocean Drive is known for, but will be extending to the Keele Center. Our clinical offices for Ocean Drive will move to the 4th floor of the Keele Center. And while Ocean Drive patients still have the opportunity to stay in one of our 2 elegantly appointed manor-style homes that are steps away from the beach in Delray that Ocean Drive is known for, the 4th floor will expand the program by 8 beds, which are private rooms at a residential level of care. These beds will be very well suited for Ocean Drive patients that are first time in treatment, have lower cognitive or physical functioning, or require a higher level of privacy while in treatment. The new Ocean Drive program and the residential program utilizes a hybrid-based approach, which focuses both on primary care and relapse prevention. The program is specifically designed for prominent adults who consider and view discretion and privacy as primary treatment motivators. While clinical treatment and patient care is at the forefront of the experience, amenities that integrate comfort and meet the distinctive needs of both executives and those of affluence is highly important. The Ocean Drive residential treatment milieu provides a small and more intimate and safe and supportive environment for like-minded individuals to relate to one another while navigating the stressors of home or in the family system, work, recovery, medical, and clinical needs. The program provides an elevated treatment experience that treats every patient with dignity and respect while offering education on recovery principles and highlighting barriers to recovery that are specific to the patient population and each of their long-term recovery needs. Patient goals reflect individualized needs for a first treatment experience, as well as the needs of those returning to treatment to continue deeper level clinical work. Ocean Drive residential patients participate in treatment modalities that may include intensive clinical care surrounding relapse, work, money, family of origin issues, core beliefs, and relationships in an experiential and group format, as well as individual sessions. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll turn the program back to Kelly.
Phoenix, thank you for that comprehensive overview of the services at the Keele Center. I'm in awe of the expansive treatments that'll be available and the impact that it will not only have on the Florida community, but also the treatment industry as a whole will be incredibly meaningful. We're now going to shift gears and answer the questions that have come in from those of you joining us today, either at the time of registration or during this live presentation. So I want to thank you for sending in your questions. And just as a reminder, you can still submit questions. The bottom right-hand of your screen, you'll see the Q&A button. You can send it there. And if time permits, we will ask it today. And if not, someone from the team will follow up with you. Let's see. Let's go to our first question here, Phoenix. Okay, so this question says, Caron, Florida is known for the family work that they do. Will the Keele Center offer the same level of family services that Caron, Florida is known for? I know you touched on this a little bit during your presentation when you talked about our motto being that the family is the patient and the patient is the family, but can you speak a little more extensively as to what family services will look like at the Keele Center?
Yes, Kelly, absolutely. So the model of treatment that we have involving family work in Florida is going to be consistent throughout all of our programs at Keele. So like Renaissance and Ocean Drive currently, where we have patients that get assigned both a primary therapist and a family therapist, patients at Keele, whether in older adult or Ocean Drive, will also get assigned both a primary therapist and a family therapist to do the relational and family of origin work as well. So during the treatment experience, that may include family involvement, such as one-day clinical impact visits. It could include 3-day workshops, and it may include up to residential family programming, which would involve maybe a lengthier time in treatment, doing work alongside of the identified patient. That could be 1 to 2 weeks or even longer, depending.
Thank you, Phoenix. And a question actually just came in through the Q&A asking about the number of floors we have again and what will be on those. Would you like to summarize that, or would you like me to?
Sure, no, absolutely, I can take that. So the Keele Center will be 40 beds. 10 of those beds are on the second floor for detox. Between the 7 additional beds on the second floor and the 15 beds on the third floor, those will all be devoted to our older adult program. And then there's 8 additional beds plus clinical offices and services on the 4th floor for the Ocean Drive residential and traditional program. So that makes 40 beds in the new Keele Center. And then the first floor are the amenities, the holistic services, health and wellness, and our administrative offices.
Thanks, Phoenix. The next question says, I am an LMHC in Florida. Will there be any programs for veterans and first responders?
Right. So, we've had, first responder programs in our, Caron, Pennsylvania continuum of care. And also we've provided service for veterans throughout our continuum of care. We don't have a specific track dedicated to either of those groups at this particular time, but we feel fully capable in providing treatment for any veteran or first responder, and we would identify them within the appropriate program that we have, whether that be older adult or Ocean Drive, mental health, or our Renaissance program. I will say that we're very proud to have Taryn Jaramillo having joined our team after having worked for the Veterans Administration for over 11 years. She has a wealth of experience, certainly in trauma care, but specifically with the veteran population and providing care. And she is overseeing all of our clinical programming for the Keele Center and our mental health program as well. So we're very excited for the influence that she brings and the clinical acuity that she'll bring to treating that population.
Thanks, Phoenix. Another attendee would like to know if we are going to have services, clinical services on the weekend at Keele Center.
Yes. So unlike our current programming in Florida with our day-night with community living model, at the Keele Center, we will have 7-day-a-week programming. So there'll be 24-hour medical supervision and clinical services provided on the weekend for each of the programs as well.
Thank you. What are the common medical issues older adults see when seeking addiction treatment that are different from other age groups?
So I think one of the really current medical issues that we're seeing consistently with older adults is chronic pain. We've seen this a lot in our population that has utilized the older adult program in Pennsylvania. We've had great success in treating those issues. Certainly those of you who know Dr. Wang, overseeing that part of the program for us in Pennsylvania has been very, very successful. And it's just such an asset to our patients there. We are modeling our care after our success in Pennsylvania, and we have, like Dr. Wang in Pennsylvania, we have our Dr. Krantz here, who those of you who know and love Dr. Krantz, she's like a jewel in the crown, for us here in terms of medical care for Caron treatment centers in Florida. And she'll be certainly heavily involved in that part of the treatment for the older adults. But I would say chronic pain is the #1 issue, and then certainly issues of cognitive functioning and other medical issues that just tend to be apparent, later in life. Sometimes, early onset dementia, other memory types of issues, and other types of medical issues as well, but specifically issues of mobility, which is one reason that makes the Keele Center more appropriate to treat these patients, because they'll be receiving care where they're also staying residentially, as opposed to our current model of treatment, where we have patients in a split model where housing is separate and distinct from where we provide clinical services.
Thank you, Phoenix. And one of the attendees said that you mentioned in your presentation that in August, Caron, Florida is launching a mental health program, and they'd like to know where that will be located.
So we have some separate clinical offices at our offices where we have currently Caron Renaissance and Caron Ocean Drive in our Beacon Square locations. That it's a separate carve out for the mental health program. And the residences are also separate residences on our current property where our Renaissance apartments are. So the program is actually separate and distinct from Ocean Drive and from Renaissance. And it's tailored to those with mental health needs that are generally independent of a substance use disorder. So we're traditionally licensed under Department of Children's and Families, DCF. We were able to achieve licensure under ACA, the Agency for Healthcare Administration, which governs beds for mental health. And we have a separate carve-out program underneath ACA, where we will be providing these specific services for that population. So it may be in conjunction with a substance use disorder, it may not be, but the gift of having this license is the ability to treat patients that are coming independent of a substance use disorder.
Thank you. Are there any plans for breakthrough or breakthrough-like intensives at the Keele Center?
So, Breakthrough is an amazing program in itself, which we still actually refer many of our Florida patients to and their family members to Breakthrough. So that is really a unique program, and we certainly want to support that program as well. We have family services that are like Breakthrough, but just a little bit different, and we call that residential family restructuring, where we involve family members in the treatment process to do work alongside of their identified patient. Now, in many cases, that's dynamic work between the family member and the individual. And in many cases, there's individual treatment work assigned to those family members so that they can work on their issues of codependence and other types of issues, whether it be mental health or family of origin related. So we'll continue to treat family members through that program.
And the next question is, how did Caron decide that this type of program was needed in Florida?
So for many reasons, one of the goals of Keele, starting with the Detox Center, is to provide continuous experience in treatment for our patients so that they're getting a true Caron experience all the way from detox through the end of their level of care, whatever that level of care might be. So we can ensure quality of care throughout that entire experience. And we felt, for a long time that one of the things that we would really benefit from would be the development of a detox, which we do not have currently in our continuum. So we're really excited for the addition, and the need for that was very apparent. The older adult population in Florida is really an underserved population that we know from our history and experience, and certainly the overwhelming response to the older adult program in Pennsylvania, we've learned that we've had waiting lists for that program at times, and we've also learned that patients in older years, if they want treatment, they want it close to their families, they want it close to home, they don't necessarily want to travel long distances. So with the aging population in Florida and knowing both the clinical and medical needs of this population, we knew that the older adult program was perfect to bring to the Keele Center. And finally, same thing with the demand for our Ocean Drive program. There's been times when we've not been able to meet the demand for our Ocean Drive program. So the expansion for that, is a natural part of it. But I think the other piece of expanding Ocean Drive is that we still have our traditional level of care, but also we get Ocean Drive types of patients that might require a little bit more hands-on care than what our current model of treatment provides. So having that residential option to begin their level of care, especially if they're more physically compromised or more cognitively compromised, or if they just need, frankly, a little bit more privacy and discretion that would be afforded to them by having their treatment in the same place where they're sleeping, that identified the need for this program as well. So one of the great add-ons that we have for our Ocean Drive folks is that at the Keele Center, there's a private garage where cars can pull into the garage. Patients will be able to get out in a private area and take a private elevator up to the 4th floor where Ocean Drive services are provided, and never have to be seen by anyone, as they're coming into treatment or leaving. So it's those types of thoughtful things that we've been considering, over the years as we've developed our experience through our Ocean Drive programming that we've wanted to add to enhance the experience for our patients.
Thanks, Phoenix. And can you please elaborate on where families stay when they're participating in the residential family restructuring program?
So families typically, and this is an interesting question because it can be different for each family member. So we're going to look at the family system and determine what that should look like based on the clinical presentation. At times, family members will come down for residential family restructuring and they will stay in a local hotel. At times, they will stay actually in a private apartment or residence, whether that be at Ocean Drive or Renaissance, in the same dwelling as our current identified patient. And that affords us great clinical opportunities to experience true dynamics of the family system as they're playing out. And we're able to provide real-time intervention as those things that are happening even after hours when the family is together in that residential piece. We bring that back into the clinical day and provide real-time clinical support.
And finally, the last question that we received wants to know, will all Caron, Florida patients have access to the neurocognitive services that you mentioned that will be on the 1st floor of the Keele Center?
Yes, so that's a great question, and thank you for asking that. We currently have neurocognitive services at our Renaissance facility that are shared between Renaissance and Ocean Drive. Those services will stay located in that facility, and we're expanding to have additional services at the Keele Center as well. So Keele Center patients will receive neurocognitive services at Keele. Renaissance patients will receive those services at Renaissance, as well as our mental health patients will receive them in the medical suite in the Renaissance offices as well.
Thank you. And then, as I said, that was the last question. One more just came in. Will we be providing MAT services at Caron, Florida?
So our services for MAT are going to be very consistent with how we practice in Pennsylvania. So we know that there are patients that not only will benefit but require MAT services, and we will be offering that at Keele as well.
Got it. And then I know I said that was in the last question, but one more came in wanting to know, will the medical or older adult programs at Keele look different than what Caron currently has in Pennsylvania through our NEAG Medical Center?
Right. So I think one thing is we have a template for success in our Caron, Pennsylvania program. So we know what has worked for this population. So the clinical services are modeled specifically after what we're already doing and doing successfully in Pennsylvania. Having said that, we have a different medical staff. We have a different clinical staff. So, and we have the opportunity to decide when somebody comes into, say, through the admissions process, to be able to look at their acuity, look at the particular issues, look at the family system and determine which opportunity would be a better fit for them.
Thank you. And then I'm going to stop saying last question, because every time I say that, somebody submits another question, which is great. We love it. Love the engagement. So I'm just going to stop saying this is the last question.
Okay.
Will there be LGBTQIA plus services available at the Keele Center?
So the answer to that is absolutely yes. And so we're very proud that we just completed the launch of our LGBTQIA plus track in Caron, Pennsylvania. We've always treated the LGBTQIA plus population in Florida, and we've had specific specialty groups and individualized services for individuals that identify as LGBTQIA plus. We're actually currently continuing to develop those programs, and you'll see that woven through the thread of all of our programs, even at the Keele Center as well.
And Caron, Pennsylvania has always been able to accommodate meals if someone has a kosher diet. Will the Keele Center also be able to accommodate special diets through the use of a kosher kitchen, or what will that look like?
Absolutely. So that's something that we gave a lot of thought to, and with our state-of-the-art dining facility and everything that goes with that, and we've already made provisions for that. We've always been able to do that at Ocean Drive with separate kosher cooking equipment. We'll be able to do that at Keele as well. So diet is going to be very important, as it relates to overall health and wellness as well. We considered that at the Keele Center. So we've given great thought to the design of what nutrition looks like at the Keele Center, and there'll be nutritionists available to work with our patients as well.
Thank you, Phoenix. And I think that actually is the last question. So I want to be mindful of everyone's time. And I want to thank you for joining us today to learn more about Caron's new medical center, the Keele Center. We are scheduled to open in January of 2023. We hope you'll join us at the next webinar in our Countdown to Keele series, which is happening on August 24th. We're going to be taking a closer look at how the Keele Center will further enhance our Ocean Drive program. Phoenix touched on it, and all the other services that we're going to provide at the Keele Center today. But each month between now and when we open, we're going to take a deeper dive into all of these services. So our next one is on August 24th. And again, that one will be specific to Ocean Drive. We'll be joined by the Senior Clinical Director of Ocean Drive, as well as the Executive Director of Florida Operations. And I also would like to remind all of you to please register for our 7th annual Addiction Research Symposium that's taking place on November 4th. We'll have both an in-person and virtual options for that program, and it is approved for AMA PRA Category 1 credits. Additionally, watch for your emails for other informational and educational opportunities through Caron, specifically our continuing education webinars. And for additional information on the Keele Center or any of Caron's programs, please reach out to your local regional resource director, and they will be happy to assist you. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to you helping us count down to Keele. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.